Hello everyone. Today I'm going to start with the A-level English literature syllabus where I plan to initiate my lessons with the drama The Dumbwaiter by Harold Pinter. I suppose by now you have finished the syllabus, almost finished the syllabus, and I think that this will be a help for your examinations. The students who are going to sit the 2020 A-level examination. So try to make the maximum use of it. I'm not going to discuss the entire drama with you because you know it will be a lengthy lesson if I start doing that. So I want to focus your attention on the basic themes and of course a little bit of basic information about the drama as well, and through the basic themes, if time permits me, I will try to discuss an essay type question and how to organize your theme based knowledge into the essay type questions. I am going to discuss if time permits me. So straight away we'll go to the drama The Dumbwaiter by Harold Pinter. So this is the shortest drama in the syllabus, A-level English literature syllabus, and there are advantages and disadvantages as well of selecting this, but I think we'll try to be optimistic and we'll think of the better side of it, and we'll try to read the maximum harvest of doing this drama. So the basic information about the drama is, so this drama is a one-act play. You are very well thorough of it, I know. It's a one-act play where you only get two characters, two visible characters on the stage, the characters of Gus and Ben. So these are the only two characters we meet in the drama and no one else. So that is a kind of strangeness, a kind of absurdity you find here in this drama. So you know this drama belongs to the theatre of the absurd, which had been quite popular among the English theatre goers those days. Those days means during the 1950s and 60s, late 1950s and 1960s of England. So the theatre of the absurd had been a tradition of England, and our dramatist here, Harold Pinter, had been quite a massive pillar of this specific genre. So this belongs to, this actually is a tragic comedy where you get the tragical events and actions, and at the same time comical events and actions. So these two fields go hand in hand, these two fields go parallel in the drama, where at one point you smile, you laugh with the characters, and at another point you feel so sad, so pathetic, and you fear the oncoming situation. That's why we call it, this is a tragic comedy. And the genre, of course, I discussed. It is the theatre of the absurd. So this theatre of the absurd often evokes the themes of powerlessness, the themes of meaninglessness, emptiness, and of course mystery. So by now, if you have finished reading the drama, you very well know that it is a kind of a mysterious drama. Even after reading the entire drama, I know you are quite confused. You don't, sometimes you don't get the head or tail of it at some points, of course. And the thematic discussion will enable you to find out the implied situations, to go deeper into these situations and unveil the hidden mysteries of the drama. And of course, even after doing that, also, I don't think that you will be clearly revealed of the intention of the dramatist. And I don't believe that you will get what happened at the end. No, you won't get it, because it belongs to the theatre of the absurd. At the end, you're puzzled. At the end, you're confused. What might have happened after that? So, always, even after reading, even after the analysis, even after all the discussions, you will be wondering about the end. So that is a feature of the theatre of the absurd. And of course, it's a modern play. It was first published in 1960, somewhere in January. And setting, of course, you are well aware of. The setting is a basement of a cafe. This is the basement room of a cafe, and we are sticking to that particular place, and you are not going anywhere else. Your imagination only roam everywhere, nothing else. Physically, you are trapped to one particular point, one particular stage, one particular room. So the climax, of course, so before the climax we'll talk about the protagonists. Who are the protagonists? Actually, there are two protagonists here. Co-protagonists are there, Gus and Ben. We have identified these two characters as hitmen. So they reveal a certain sector of the society where violence is created, violence is hired, and violence is implemented on others by unseen hands, unseen powerful hands. Maybe the politicians, maybe the wealthy people, maybe the elites, social elites, affluence, or maybe it could be anybody. No, it could be anybody. The violence is created through them by using such people like hitmen whom we meet in the drama as Gus and Ben. So those two are the protagonists in the drama. And of course we have antagonists also. An antagonist whom we identify as Wilson. Wilson is a very particular significant character because we don't see Wilson in reality on stage. Wilson is actually absent from stage. And of course, so everything is planned under the notions of Wilson. Wilson has the controlling hand. Wilson is the power ahead of Gus and Ben, and so he is the villain, and his ideas are conveyed to the victims. His ideas are operated on victims by the two hitmen we find here. Of course, they are the puppets. Gus and Ben are the puppets who work accordingly at the hands of powerful Wilson. So he is the villain, he is the antagonist, and of course eventually Ben also turns out to be an antagonist, a villain, because he directs his gun at his own friend, his own companion, who had worked with him so many years together, who had shared with him so many memories together. So eventually Ben also turns out to be the antagonist. So Ben is actually an antagonist plus protagonist in the drama, and that is a special feature about this drama. So if we move on to the climax of the drama, what do you think is the climax? Yes, have you given a thought of it? The climax of the drama. Climax, of course, comes at the tail end of the drama, where we are wonderstruck once the door opens and Ben directs his gun at his own mate, working mate, partner, Gus. So this is the climax. So the audience is wonderstruck, the reader is wonderstruck, everyone is facing a twist, a sudden twist of the plot, which takes you with surprise. And of course the falling action comes as Gus and Ben stare at each other in silence. So our initial surprise is gradually decreased, gradually becomes less and less. and the tone of the entire drama is violent and at the same time comical. So these are some of the information I have just given you just as a reminder of the drama. So you will come to remember the events of the drama with this introduction, I suppose. So we'll move on to the themes. So I have here pointed out 4 basic themes of the drama. Number 1 as lack of communication, number 2 as violence and victimization, 3 class discrimination, and 4th one search for meaning of life. Or actually we can call it as waiting. So we'll go back to the very first theme, lack of communication. In other words, you can use it in a simpler manner, silence. So have you noticed, children, here in this drama, silence is everywhere. It starts with silence. Can you remember the initial point of the drama? Where Ben is reading a newspaper silently, and Gus is tying his shoelace seated on the bed. No conversations, no background music, nothing goes on between the 2 characters, just silence is focused at the very beginning of the drama. And if you can go fast to the end of the drama, the final stage of the drama, what do you observe there? Once again, deliberate silence. Isn't that so? It's deliberate silence. Ben trying to shoot at the victim, and victim becoming his own partner, Gus, and nothing happens there. Nobody talks, no conversations follow. Instead, silently they stare at each other. So once again, it starts with silence, it ends with silence, and not only that, in between the different events, different stages of the drama, very often you come across how Ben goes silent to constant questions asked by his partner Gus. So can you remember such incidents? Gus had so many questions to ask, and Ben gets annoyed after each and every question, and as the response he keeps silence or just tries to make Gus's mouth shut. So that's what he does as the response for the endless questions of Gus. For example, I'm going to give you a quotation here, so you can just mark it. So Ben says, "You never used to ask me so many damn questions. What's come over you?" "I was just wondering." "Stop wondering. You have got a job to do. Why don't you just do it and shut up?" So that's the kind of conversation you hear entirely through the drama between these working partners. So that is silence. So this silence, actually, we finally understand, is created and it reveals the nakedness of lack of communication with these 2 people. So lack of communication, they are for the same target, their aim is the same, and their life is the same, their work, their employment is the same, but they don't communicate. There is a very big gap, a great chasm between these 2 guys. So that is seen everywhere in the society, where we don't even know our next door neighbor. We don't know even our colleague who works with us in the same institution and at the very next desk. So that communication gap, that chasm is highlighted here, and that's why things go wrong, as you see in the drama at the end. So this silence is symbolically presented by the dumbwaiter. It is symbolically presented by the dumbwaiter. So I believe that by now you know what a dumbwaiter is. So this dumbwaiter is a kind of a machine you use to serve the visitors of a certain restaurant or a hotel. So instead of a living waiter, a living being, this machine is introduced to serve the orders. So it was first created so that gossip and conversation could not be spread after meals by the waiters. So that was the purpose of creating such a dumbwaiter. So this dumbwaiter doesn't have any feelings, no emotions, no curiosity, nothing, just a machine. So likewise, these two people, these two people we find here in the drama, they are just like that, inability to communicate. Okay, so there is lack of communication, and what more? What more instances can you produce for that? And the most dominating silence in the drama is being created by Wilson, the unseen character, the top antagonist. So Wilson's presence is looming everywhere in the drama. His presence is looming, lurking everywhere in the drama. The audience never hears him. He is mysterious, and this the mystery of Wilson is actually sinister. It senses the presence of Wilson senses some evilness around. So the environment is supplemented with evilness, with a sinister feeling by Wilson. He's everywhere and nobody could see him. So can you remember one utterance? Gus asked, "What time is he getting in touch?" What time is he getting in touch? Gus asked. So both of them are waiting for Wilson, but he is silent. So silence is there with Wilson as well. And of course, how does the play end? I have discussed with you. He raises his head. This is the quotation I am forwarding to you. He raises his head and looks at Ben. A long silence. They stare at each other. That's how the drama ends. So silence is everywhere. I have pointed out silence here, and I have pointed out actually 3 quotations from the drama. So follow it, try to grasp the quotations and the points. So they are that means Gus and Ben are the mute carriers of information. Not only Gus and Ben, even Wilson is added to this particular group. They are the mute carriers, silent carriers of information. They are silent, but still they give us so much. They reveal us so much. They tell us so much. So that is there. Right. So that is about lack of communication. We'll be continuing with the second theme of the drama, that is violence and victimization. So here we see, I would like to divide the drama into 2 categories for the easy learning purposes. So I mean by the first part of the drama, from the beginning to where the envelope is seen through the door, down below under the door, the envelope is received by Gus and Ben. So up to that part I mean as the first part. So in this first part, children, we get incidents of violence being referred to by the readings of the newspaper. It is done by Ben. Ben is taken by surprise and tries to deliver that surprise, that agitation, that empathetic feeling of an old man being killed by running over by a lorry, as he was run over by a lorry, and a young girl killing a cat. So these 2 incidences gives us a hint of the violence, the hint of the impending violence of the drama. So if we take the first incident of the old man, this is the quotation we come across in the drama. A man of 87 wanted to cross the road, but there was a lot of traffic. See, he couldn't see how he was going to squeeze through. So he crawled under a lorry. The lorry started and ran over him. So that is the first incident reporting of violence we come across in the drama. So here Ben, being agitated by this, is trying to deliver the same emotional feeling to Gus as well. And in the second instant, he is talking about the child. This is the quotation. a child of 8 killed a cat. Her brother, aged 11, viewed the incident from the tool shed. So here I would like to focus your attention to the pronoun her. So this child who happens to kill the cat turns out to be happens to be a girl. So we are wonderstruck. Could a girl do this? So this marvel, this wonder of the information given, the news given, suggests violence. So we see that the impending violence at the end of the drama is being hinted at the very beginning of the drama. So if we move on to the second half of the drama, that is after the envelope being stuffed inside the basement room, we get other instances of violence as well. Language used by the two hitmen, Gus and Ben, also indicates violence. So it triggers the actions of violence. So if you take, for instance, the argument between Gus and Ben over the use of the phrase light the kettle. So it had become quite a heated argument between the two. So they were confused of the correct usage of that phrase, whether to light the kettle or to put on the kettle. So here Ben goes to the extent of his anger becomes so hard, he goes to the extent of choking Gus at that incident. And after that, he calls Gus with this, the kettle you fool, he shouts at Gus, and Ben physically attacks Gus also. So this trivial incident, the trivial language confusement, has turned out to be a physical attack on his own friend. So this is the kind of violence created here within the drama, where we can expect some more violence on the part of Ben. So that is the second point on violence. And also I would like to move on to another incident where Gus turns out to be quite complaining, not actually complaining, confessing over his job, his dissatisfaction over his job, because he talks about a recent killing that they had done together, a killing of a female, how shocking it had been, how unnerved he had been when he actually faced that incident. So this is the quotation, children. Gus says, "She wasn't much to look at, but still it was a mess, though, wasn't it? What a mess, honest, I can't remember a mess like that one." So this is the confession of a killer, He could not stand what he had done together with his partner. So I would like to focus your attention on she and miss. So he is highly worried about the gender of the victim. Victim being a she, and how she had messed up with her death, and how they had messed up with the killing had actually opened avenues in his heart for a deeper thinking, of a deeper realization of what he has been doing all this time, and what the life is actually, a realization of life and what they are up to. So this is actually brutal violence. This is brutal violence. It is a brutal act. So this brutality of this violence is emphasized by this confession of Gus, which Ben goes unheard. Ben does not open up his ears to this confession. Ben has closed all his sensory organs, actually the ears, and he keeps silent to this confession. He does not come to the point of view of Gus here. So those are the, and also I forgot another incident, the final stage. Final stage reveals the reality of the violence which is focused in the drama. That is the actual violence pointed at the co-partner of this particular hitman called Ben. So he betrays his friend and points his gun at his own partner, on teammate who had worked with him for so many years, shared his memories, they had shared memories, they had shared experiences, they had violated rules and regulations, they had become murderers together, but finally Ben betrays Gus and points his gun at Gus. So this is the extreme, the apex of violence created in the drama. And also there's a foreshadowing of the drama as well, when Gus in his sleep had actually seen or realized that Ben had stopped the vehicle during the night when they were reaching their destination to the basement room of the cafe. He had stopped there, and this is the quotation you find there. It was all misty. You were sitting up dead straight like you were waiting for something. So that's what Gus had observed, and for this Ben did not have an answer. He just kept silence. So these are the incidents of violence being pointed at in the drama, and through this we realize that violence is incorporated with the lives of such people. With such people I meant people like hitmen who are involved in this corrupted society where they make black money. So that is violence. So we move on to the third theme, that is class discrimination. So what about class discrimination? That is differently treating according to the class one belongs in the society. So what do you think is the class of these two hitmen? Of course they belong to the lower social classes. How do we know? One clue for us is their language. How they use their language. I have pointed out such language earlier in my video, okay? How they use their language. And also, like for example, Ko, you can take Brimi, Yuber. So these dialects do not belong to the dialects of the social elites. This dialect is different. This is the dialect of the lower classes of the society, and the place is symbolical where they are placed, the basement of the cafe. This is a symbolical place where they cannot come out. They are kind of imprisoned here because without the orders of their boss they can't come out, and of course that is also to a death of somebody, over the death of somebody, they can come out of this basement room. So that is a symbolical representation of their social class. And another point I want to focus is tea. Tea was a drink for only the social elites during some time back in England. Sometime back in England it had become a beverage only for the social elites. They never got the chance of socially lower people, lower social classes. They never got access to tea. So this is also finely presented in the drama, where from the beginning these two hitmen were trying to have a cup of tea, but they did not have the chance. They did not have the fortune to enjoy a cup of tea till the end of the drama. At one time they ran out of matches, and the gas stove was not, it had run out of gas, so they did not have any ways and means of having a cup of tea. And on the other hand, the people at the upper stairs of this building, they were ordering tea from them. So this is somewhat ironical, and they sent their tea bags to the visitors who had come to the cafeteria. So this is kind of ironical, where they themselves do not have the privilege of enjoying a simple cup of tea. They were trying to satisfy the others. This is the plight of the socially lower class people. They themselves do not enjoy the privileges, but they do whatsoever to satisfy the others' necessity, the necessities of the social alike. So T is also symbolical. And of course, the faulty toilet. The faulty toilet is actually a metaphor for the dirty, broken system that they had become a part of. So that is the faulty toilet. And of course, the exotic food items ordered by the visitors who had come to the upper stories of this building also reveals the gap between the two social classes, the great chasm between the two social classes. The exotic food ordered were unfamiliar to these two hitmen. They haven't even heard such names like the ones mentioned in the drama. Okay, so that is the class discrimination we come across, and we'll move on to the final one, that is the search for meaning of life. What do you mean by search for meaning of life? Meaning of life is, of course, we are in a constant search for meaning of life. We search for love, we search for success, we search for prosperity, we search for relationships, companionships. So they are with us, among us, between us. So children, this search, to fulfill this search, we have to wait. Waiting has become a compulsory association in our life. So this waiting is symbolically presented here in the drama. So these two people are waiting for two things. One, first of all, they wait for the order of their boss. They wait for the order of the high-ranking person above them, the most powerful person above them. They wait for the order to go on with their job, to carry their job ahead. And secondly, they wait for the victim. Ironically, the victim turns out to be one of them. That is the irony of life. So we meet such ironies of life as they had met in the drama, as Ben had met in the drama and Gus had met in the drama. So this wait, the endless waiting of life, where we finally realize that life is actually a total waiting. We wait and wait for things to happen, and sometimes they do happen and sometimes they don't happen. But whatever it is, we go on living, and finally our waiting is not satisfied for each and every one of us, because we don't understand, we don't fully realize what life is. So that is the confusement we fall over life. So that confusement is seen at the end of the drama as well. So finally, Gus was confused, and I think Ben was also confused. That's my opinion. I don't know what yours is. Actually, Gus is confused. So this confusement, this waiting is symbolically presented here in the drama as well. This question is based on the theme violence, as most essay questions are theme based. Violence is pointed out in 3 sections. The old man run over by a lorry and the killing of the cat suggest violence forwarded through media. The woman killed highlights their past memories, while violence is touched in reality when Ben aims his gun at Gus. So these points would do for your essay type answer. Try that, and we'll meet in a new video clip. Thank you.